Today, March 26th, this message reaches you for a reason. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but because something in the unseen world has shifted in your favor. When that shift happened, I was allowed to see your future, and what I saw brought me to tears. Not tears of fear, but tears born from the overwhelming weight of everything you've carried and the beauty of what is finally unfolding for you. My child, when the vision first appeared, I did not speak right away. I stood in complete stillness because some truths are too powerful to rush. Even heaven grew quiet in that moment, as if time itself paused to honor your story. This was not just another passing glimpse of what could be. It was something sacred, something deeply personal, something that carried both your pain and your promise at the same time. In that stillness, I saw you, the real you, the version of you that no one else fully understands, the one who kept going when everything inside you felt exhausted, the one who smiled through heavy days and carried burdens you never spoke out loud. I saw the nights you stayed awake, thinking, questioning, wondering if things would ever change. And I cried, not because you were weak, but because you were strong for far too long without the comfort you truly deserved. You thought you were just surviving, just getting through life one day at a time. But what you didn't see was how close you came to a completely different path. There was a version of your future where the weight became too much, where hope faded quietly, where you began to lose sight of your own worth. I saw that path clearly, and it shook me because it was so close to becoming real. But everything changed in a single moment. Archangel Michael stepped forward, not with noise or dramatic force, but with a quiet authority that shifted everything instantly. I watched as doors that once seemed perfect suddenly closed. Plans you believed in fell apart. People you trusted began to distance themselves. At the time, it felt confusing, maybe even painful. You questioned why things weren't working out the way you hoped. But now you need to understand this truth. You were never being rejected. You were being protected. Every closed door was a rescue you didn't recognize yet. Every delay was a shield placed in front of you. Every ending was an act of divine intervention, guiding you away from something that could have harmed you deeply. There were things hidden behind those opportunities, intentions behind certain people, outcomes that would have drained your spirit. And before any of that could reach you, protection stepped in. You were never alone, not even for a moment. Even when you felt isolated, even when you thought no one understood what you were going through, there were unseen battles being fought on your behalf. While you were struggling internally, heaven was working externally, removing obstacles, blocking harm, and redirecting your path in ways you couldn't see. That is why I cried. Not because something bad is coming, but because of how close you came to losing something meant for you, and how powerfully you were guided back into alignment. You survived something you don't even fully understand yet, and now everything is beginning to change. There is a shift happening in your life right now. You may have already started to feel it. A sense of restlessness, moments of unexpected clarity, emotions rising without clear reason. That's not random. That's alignment taking place. You are standing at a turning point. Behind you is everything that tried to break you, and ahead of you is everything that will finally make sense. Clarity is coming in a way that will answer questions you stopped asking. You will begin to understand why certain people left, why certain plans didn't work out, why timing always felt slightly off. And when that understanding arrives, it won't hurt the way you expect. It will free you. You will realize that nothing you went through was wasted. Every moment shaped you, strengthened you, and prepared you for what is ahead. New people are going to enter your life. People who won't make you question yourself, who won't drain your energy, who will understand you without constant explanation. Being around them will feel natural, easy, and safe. That is how you will recognize what is truly meant for you. Opportunities will also begin to shift. The kind that don't require you to constantly prove your worth. The kind that meet you where you are and help you grow. Even your sense of stability will improve. Where there was once stress, there will be peace. Where there was uncertainty, there will be confidence. You will begin to feel lighter. That heaviness you've been carrying will slowly lift. Your mind will feel clearer, your energy will return, and your sense of calm will deepen. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because what was weighing you down is no longer part of your path. But you must remember this. Don't rush. What is and
My child, there is more that you need to hear, because what I saw did not end with the moment of protection. The vision continued, and what came next was something far deeper than a warning. It was a promise. Not a loud promise, not one spoken in thunder, but a quiet promise that wrapped itself around your future like light. I saw you standing in a place that felt completely different from where you are now. You were calmer, not because life suddenly became easy, but because something inside you had finally settled. The confusion that once followed you everywhere was gone. The constant questioning, why is this happening to me, had faded into understanding. You weren't searching for answers anymore. You were finally living in them. There was a moment in the vision where you looked back at everything you had survived, the pain, the waiting, the disappointment, the loneliness, the times when you thought you had reached your limit, and instead of feeling bitterness, you felt peace, a deep, steady peace that came from realizing you didn't go through all of that for nothing. Every difficult season had shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and far more resilient than you ever gave yourself credit for. I also saw something beautiful begin to happen in your life. Connections that felt real, not forced, not temporary, not confusing. People who understood you without needing long explanations. Conversations that didn't leave you drained. Support that felt genuine, not conditional. You began to notice the difference right away. Being around the right people didn't make you anxious, it made you feel safe. It made you feel like you could finally be yourself without constantly protecting your heart. And as those new connections began to grow, opportunities started opening in ways that felt almost effortless. Not because you suddenly changed everything about yourself, but because you were finally aligned with what was meant for you. The doors that once stayed closed began to open quietly, one by one. Not all at once, not in a way that overwhelmed you, but in a steady way that allowed you to breathe again. There was also a shift in your confidence, not the loud kind that tries to prove something to the world, but the quiet kind that comes from knowing who you are. You stopped doubting every decision. You stopped apologizing for your dreams. You stopped shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. And when you stopped doing that, everything around you began to respond differently. What touched me the most in the vision was the moment when you realized you were no longer carrying everything alone. That heavy emotional weight that followed you for so long, it wasn't there anymore. You were still strong, but now you were also supported. You were still independent, but now you didn't feel isolated. That change may sounded small, but it completely transformed the way you saw the world. I also saw clarity coming into areas of your life where you once felt completely lost. Decisions that once felt impossible suddenly became simple. You didn't need to overthink every step anymore. Your mind felt calmer, your heart felt lighter, and for the first time in a long time, you trusted yourself again. But there is something very important you must understand. This change is not coming because of luck. It is coming because you didn't give up when it would have been easier to walk away. You kept going when no one was watching. You stayed strong when no one understood. You continued believing even when you were tired of waiting. That strength created a future that is now starting to unfold. You may not see all of it yet, and that's okay. Some things will reveal themselves slowly. Some answers will come quietly. Some blessings will appear when you least expect them. But the direction of your life has already shifted. What once felt stuck is now moving. What once felt heavy is now becoming lighter. What once felt uncertain is now becoming clear. So if you feel restless right now, don't be afraid of it. That restlessness is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is changing. It is the feeling that comes right before a new chapter begins. And even if you can't see the full picture yet, you can trust that you are not being left behind. You are being guided forward. The future I saw is not one where you are struggling the way you once did. It is a future where you finally feel understood, finally feel stable, and finally feel at peace with who you are and where you are going. That is why this message came to you today, not to create fear, but to remind